everyone, this is Svetlana. Welcome to another Altenew video. Today I will be making a card featuring one of my favorite background techniques, bleaching with water. I made a panel out of a Canson Montval watercolor paper, and first I will be making an easy watercolor background onto it. So I'm mounting the panel to the Altenew medium watercolor palette using a painter's tape. I will be working with the Sea Breeze and Dusk watercolor brush markers to make my background. But first, I'm wetting the panel with clear water using a large watercolor brush. I'm adding the water pretty generously, as wanted to make the majority of work. Next, I'm adding liquid watercolor onto the panel using the Sea Breeze watercolor marker. I'm blending it out using the brush with clear water. Whenever I feel there is not enough color, I'm adding a bit more of it and blending it out. Then I'm adding some dusk liquid watercolor and blending it out with the clear water as well. I'm continuing adding some watercolor here and there until I'm happy with the background. Next, I'm setting it aside to let dry. Next, I will be white embossing the background from the Delicate Flower Bed stamp set. I'm prepping my panel with some baby powder to prevent any stray embossing powder particles to stick to it. And then I'm going ahead and white embossing the background. Now it's time to start bleaching with water. I'm adding a bit of water inside of the flowers, letting it sit for a second or two, and then blotting it with paper towel. This is actually the technique in a nutshell. Add water, let sit, blot. It's a pretty quick process. The liquid watercolor reacts with water almost immediately. I'm adding water to several elements at a time and then quickly blot them all. If I don't like how bleached an element turned out, I just add some more water to bleach it more. And here you can hear my dog digging in her bed, so I apologize for that. I cannot stop her doing things. Okay, so she finally finished digging, and I can continue explaining the cut. I like the effect this technique makes. The flowers now look like they are made of vellum. Next, I trimmed the panel and added splatters of the pure white ink spray as well as perlized water onto it. And I put the panel aside to let dry. I white embossed a sentiment from the same set onto a jet black cardstock strip. And I also decut letters for a word hugs using the fine alphabet die set. I decut each letter twice, once out of a silver glitter paper and once out of a jet black cardstock. Now I'm stacking each letter die cut using a liquid adhesive. I'm placing a black die cut underneath a silver one with a slight offset, and I'm pressing them down with an acrylic block. I prefer using this method versus pressing with my fingers, as my fingers are always inky or can have some adhesive residue on them, and it can be transferred onto the card elements. Next, I will be adhering all elements of the sentiment onto the panel. I'm using a T ruler to help me adhere the sentiment straight. And now I will be mounting the panel onto a white card base. First, I'm removing the backing only from two stripes of the adhesive foam. Then I'm placing the panel onto the card base, and once I'm ready to commit its position, I'm removing the backing from the rest of the foam. Lastly, I'm adding several silver crystals to accentuate the card. First, I'm placing them onto the card without the adhesive. On this step, I'm just deciding on their position. Then I'm moving each crystal a bit and adding a tiny droplet of Ranger Multi-Medium Matte adhesive on the spot where the crystal is meant to be. And then I'm picking up a crystal with my jewel picker tool and placing it onto the adhesive droplet. Lastly, I'm pressing all crystals down with an acrylic block. Here I'm trying to show you the sparkling situation that is going on the card. It's hard to show it in still photos. I hope you like this technique and the card. All supplies will be listed in the video description. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to ask them in the comment area. Have a wonderful day. Bye.